Hey, what's up everyone, it's Arno here, and today I'm going to show you how to play LeBlanc on the mid lane. Playing against actually Nasus. Let's go with W first, and the first combo we wanna do auto attack W and auto for quick electro proc that is especially effective against melee matchups. And generally don't forget to auto as well. So that's the W. It's a dash that deals magic damage upon landing. Now I W earlier not to receive the trade back from Nasus. Sometimes, since auto W auto takes some time, in order to trigger electrocute you'll have to take the trade back. But upon just reaching level 2 we can proc electrocute with QW. Don't forget to auto attack in between, like I did. And what Q does, it's an auto target ability that applies skill at the enemy, which can be triggered by abilities of yours. So for example, I apply Q, I trigger that with W and go back. Now there's the chain, so upon connecting it deals magic damage, and then we need 1.5 seconds for the root to apply. So during that moment we cannot allow the enemy to break the connection, we have to stay close enough for your chain. You can help yourself with last hit it with Q, also you can use E, especially early when sometimes you're just gonna focus on farming, but very often we wanna apply as much damage as possible with electrocute. And here I wanted to start the combo with E actually. Look, it has to stay like this, and this time I didn't ignite because I knew I had enough damage. Nice try from Viego. He has teleport, but I don't have enough gold for first back since I wanna get Lost Chapter. And well, this is why sometimes you can be played with teleport, but not in this matchup. If you play against melee you simply have higher killing potential, so usually it's not worth it. But I can stay on this lane and just focus on CS. One weakness of LeBlanc can be just getting pushed, because her wave clear itself is not so great, like you can only rely on your W and then on your ultimate, which can repeat your ultimate again. But even when you do that, you're no longer able to deal enough damage to the enemy, so this means we should be trying to apply the W both at the enemy and in the minion wave, which of course can be done much better against melee matchup. Okay, I'm just gonna back. Oh, I mean, this slowed me down. If you want, you can take this farm. The first item we wanna get is Lost Chapter every time. So I recommend not backing until you get this. If you happen to back early, you can of course at least take Dark Seal. And just hope on stacking that. Oh, okay, he just wasted ultimate. Let's see. He's gonna make a deep recall, okay. There are a few combos. I'm gonna mention the combo before we reach ultimate. You know, the first one is auto W auto like I did before. Then you do QW with auto attack. If you got time before the dash you can do auto in between Q and W. And then there's the next combo with your E. So when making pickups, like when the enemy is just escaping or something and you just need to reach, Then you have to do WEQ, but it's best if you do WQE, because then you can activate the sigil from Q and deal extra damage with your E. But just sometimes, I would say, especially if there's... What? Okay. You know, I was really surprised that Malphite actually decided to go in like this. If not the fact that I had good amount of HP, I would just W away and actually had 2 dashes, because your ultimate repeats applies the most recent ability that you have used. Let's go Magic Man Boots. But going back to the combo I mentioned, I wanted to say that especially early game when you're chasing someone with your jungler, then you can do WEQ, because it's just important to keep the enemy in one place with E, and then the rest of the damage can be done by your ally as well. But in perfect scenario, of course, we wanna just do QEW, which deals more damage and at the same time still roosts the enemy. And if you're just going for damage, like on the lane, then you do QW with E. Now speaking of ultimate, oh, he actually roamed. I try to impact because Gnar is at good amount of HP, so I can make a difference. I'm keeping my ult, waiting for the next W, and then I'll be able to dash twice. Oh, he actually returned? Why? I kept my chain, and I could chain him again, but that would be pointless because that fight just ended. I can tell you that... Okay, he has teleport. Usually it's best to QW and then W again. Especially in teamfights, because you can damage multiple enemies. And if you wanna just do the best amount of damage to single target, you can do Q and out to trigger that Q with Sigil and apply another one. Then you can E and W. But this is difficult sometimes, and if you miss, you're in big trouble. Because this means you won't have your W and it will be hard to escape. Oh, there's one more thing I have to mention about W, of course. After casting it, you have 4 seconds during which you can just recast it to return to the place where you have started. And there are different colors based on the ability that you have used. Like if you use that from W, for example on the skin, it's blue, and if you cast it from out, it's purple, pink. So remembering that, you can plan your outplays ahead, because you can decide where you're gonna return. Just keep it in mind that there's 4 seconds duration and one of your W will end earlier, depending on how you casted that. We wanna max W first and going in again. Usually it's best to save your W till you reach the lane, so you can deal damage from this ability as well. So I do Q first, and then I do ult again, and I can decide to return to this place and get Timo. So this allows to close the distance. I have to return, and actually we could get a kill when I ping Viego. As for your passive, when you drop below 30% health, you become invisible for 1 second, so you like disappear, just like Shaco. I'm gonna return because oh what? Actually, this time I underestimated Nasus' damage. Like what? Did he build some magic resist? Not even that. So yeah, my bad. In this case, I should have done Q with E and saved my W to escape. So this is good when playing against champions that have high amount of damage and they actually won't die instantly. Reaching you. A mistake, but I think it's meaningful because we can learn from that. And when you drop below 3% health, you spawn a clone which you can control with your control key. There's a nice trick with LeBlanc where you can pretend to be a clone. So your clone moves and you just stay in one place, an enemy starts attacking you, but then stops and starts chasing the clone. I could even probably try... Actually not, because Nasus knew exactly that it was the real version because of the W he applied. So such ability, just let him know. Oh, he did some mind games. When I returned, I E, and let's see what can be done now. Look, this time I have my W, so he wasn't able to kill me. Like, wow. He heals for so much. Also slowing. At least I'll be able to one-shot him later because he's not building magic resist, unless maybe later. I had to return immediately, but I still damaged him with V, just not applying the second part of damage. That's kinda stupid that he's healing for so much with his Q. So even if I poke him, he can sustain it, and at the same time does this. Oh, and he overextended. Okay, so be gone. LeBlanc struggles against sustained type of champions. Like, you need to make sure not to take too much damage yourself because she's really squishy. So at first this Nasus matchup felt easy, yet in some circumstances it's actually tough when you just try to kill him. And I could be playing farming game on the lane and that's it. Of course, playing against ranged champions is different too, and there you should focus more on the lane itself. But you should be roaming a lot. This is why we wanna get magic pen boots early. Okay, that was full burst combo, so he's gonna die.
You have slain an enemy.
But yeah, I'm gonna need a lot of damage this game. I'll be playing with the best built runes for LeBlanc, so it will be fine. So after this we wanna go Shadow Flame, which makes our magic damage crit, and it really helps. I wanted to talk about combos with ultimate, and mid-late game, especially when sieging, you can just do WQ Alt E, which usually destroys squishy enemy if you land everything. Like landing your chain is important with this combo, and then you just return with W quickly, avoiding anything, and then after some time you have the combo again. Other than that, we just wanna do the combo that we can mostly rely on. Whoops, which is W out, or especially just Q W out. Also keep in mind that when you do the single target combo with Q out, if an enemy has something like Mastery with his Q, then you might just lose that damage. They can avoid it. Which is why it's mostly better to just use your W out. If you don't have time and you have enough damage, you can just W out into 3 enemies in a team fight. Not going in first, of course, because you might end up dying. If you wanna wave Q faster, you can just W and then out, repeating that. I'd say as LeBlanc you need to focus around objectives with your team, because it takes one mistake and if you fall off it will be really tough to make a difference. Look, I can just do this. I didn't expect him to be there. Uh-oh. Not gonna move at all. Maybe there's another shroom around. So I'm gonna need Red Trinket.
Your turret has been destroyed. Shut down.
And back to mid lane. Like, LeBlanc is not good at split pushing because she has to use her W. Just kill the target. Now that was an easy combo because the enemy was crowd controlled, so I just did Q out W, so I triggered extra damage from Q twice, first from the second Q and then from W. So I hope you understand. These are basics of LeBlanc. I mean, split pushing with LeBlanc is fine as well, just don't expect something crazy. It's usually good to apply some pressure from side lanes as mid laner, especially when your bot lane just swaps with you. So in this case, when I'm not in danger, I just used W twice to clear faster and I can back already. It's better to be around for objectives and for small team fights which can happen. And next, I'd say we could try Magi, since I have 8 stacks. Other than that, it would be great to just go that cap at this point. What? That damage, dude. I didn't return to W because I would be not attack range.
An ally has been slain.
But yeah, you see how squishy LeBlanc is? That's why you need to be really careful, especially if you decide to go Magi. And I could be going healing reduction, or I could ask my team. Because this will allow me to just go for more damage. And I'm totally aware that Nasus mid is not the matchup you would usually encounter, but I can tell you that the information I'm telling you will be quite useful for any matchup, and especially melee ones like Yone, for example, if you struggle. See that damage and still have... oh. Okay, I'm gonna escape.
There's no escape.
No shrooms there. Look, I'm gonna have my dash again. When you go too much for kills, when you take part in a team fight or a small fight that is meaningless, that doesn't lead to some objectives, then an enemy might end up just taking some objective from your team. That's why you should mainly prepare for Dragon and Baron fights. So we could just do Dragon now. Mastery is dead. Yeah, focus on that. Got him. Sometimes you have to just plant everything in order to kill. It depends how fat you are. But it's really important to keep the connection with V. I think the tip to just focus on important fights is the best thing you can apply to your games with LeBlanc in order to increase win rate, because I have seen many LeBlanc players who did well and they just died mid-late game and couldn't carry their team. Remember that with kills there comes responsibility to carry your team, especially if your other teammates don't really have kills. So you have to be the main damage dealer. And it's also important to focus the right target, like of course might be a no-brainer, but sometimes people might forget. Just focus on the most fat enemy. If you waste your combo at like support despite getting the kill, then still your team won't win the team fight. What? See that damage? That's a fun combo. Thing is, if you do this combo and the enemy flashes before E connects, then this target is safe, because it will be really hard to just reach again without flash. I hope they're not doing Baron. Like, they have good potential for Baron, but they'll see, okay. See? Like, this is probably the most useful combo. You just apply chain first, then Q with ult, or you apply Q, ult, and E. Just remember, if you do it with your E, then you're most likely to keep the target just in one place.
An ally has been slain. Enemy double kill. Trust me.
And I can tell you that even if the enemy team goes heavily on magic resist, usually the mid laner and ADC don't really go magic resist, which means it's better to just focus on that cap, for example. Oh, I didn't land the W, but he flashed, so doesn't matter. Much better to go that cap and to quickly delete an ADC than going something like Void Staff early, which is quite decent, but sometimes might not be enough. It's better to do a simple combo, especially against enemies which have dashes, because you usually have enough damage with that simple combo of W ult or QW ult. And I don't recommend always relying on Q ult. Look, I have such amount of AP already. The changes to AP items from this season actually benefit LeBlanc, because she can get more AP and she's focused on deleting squishes anyway, when Magic Pen is a bit weaker. And still you can apply so much damage with your team, even when there's some tank. So having such amount of AP already is crazy. And we're gonna test that on these squishies. Notice how I use the second dash to potentially be able to reach Timo. In this case I wasn't able to, but it's a good practice, good habit. And I think we can do Baron. It's like, yeah, especially the jungler is on bot side. That's free. Timo won't get closer probably. Oh, we have to do it quickly because our fight is coming, okay. Now it's a good idea to take extra magic pen. And Crypt Bloom is also nice. You can get healing. If you don't want to, you can just go for an hourglass. Yeah, he disappeared. But they took dragon. They actually have 3 dragons, so we have to focus on objectives a lot more. But now we can make some pickup. Nice. Let's push. It's a lot easier to carry with LeBlanc if your team knows what to do in terms of macro game. If they focus on objectives, like in this case. Now is pushing bot lane.
Where next?
And Viego is close to top lane, so actually do 1-to-1. That's really good. They're pressured from all sides. They will lose something. I also do a lot. Aha, he ulted, like what? I'm gonna try to save my ally with chain. And let's do double chain. What? Dude, you have QSS. Look, like in this case, if I didn't use... That was actually a misclick. I didn't want to spam mastery. I wanted to say, if I didn't use double chain, I'll be dead because he had QSS. But even if he wouldn't have it, that was a good idea to try. So if I have Magi stacked, I'm going extra magic pen. I could be going for an hourglass because they don't really have lots of magic resist. Or just to be safe, I go like that for more damage. Got him. That was 1500 from E. And this time I could have tried to apply E first, not Q. Maybe it wouldn't reach anyway. That. We have to do some mind games against champions who can just delete you, so you have to play differently against assassins. Like in this case we could call this Nasus an assassin because he has so much damage. See what happens when they flash. Messes up the combo. But not every time you can reach with W twice. So it happens. I have some time to try something, but it's not worth it because he is about to spawn and I would probably kill either Jhin or Timo and end up dying myself, so not really worth it, yeah.
Tricky, aren't you?
We could make a trap now. If you're so fat and the enemy has no vision, then that allows for some extra kills, which can lead few more objectives. See? You just have no vision. Nasus has QSS again, so I have to be careful. And we could just go for Dragon to prevent them from getting soul, because we won't be able to finish the game.
Would I lie?
If he comes closer, I'm gonna poke him. I might just do this.
It's all.
He's here, okay. Well, he's already dead. So I had my second chain prepared. I didn't need it. Lucian has 2 death. I just return. Let's see. Look, you can just do this and return. Avoid the face check. And to check without risking, without relying on ward. Here I knew that Mastery wasted his Q, so I just tried to kill him quickly. Also healed myself. That's why I like this item, since LeBlanc is so squishy. I returned earlier because of Thibaut. Wasn't sure if Nasus would flash. He probably hates LeBlanc at this point. But yeah, his max W is dangerous. Let's do Baron. Also remember that if by any chance somehow your W will be interrupted, this is a dash, so if you don't complete the dash, you don't deal damage. Happens rarely if you know what you're doing, but just to remind you. And yeah, we can pressure them. We have Baron. Oh, I knew it. Just returned. And the kill. I hope that you enjoyed and learned something about LeBlanc on how to play her. If you enjoyed, you can like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what would you like to see next. Thanks for watching and see you next time.